Hello and welcome to Surviving the UK Government Podcast. I'm with Naringa.
Hello, everyone.
So today, this episode, we're going to talk about the NHS um, and how they've got a pretty good image. The NHS, they're trying to help people. Um, they care obviously about everyone's lives. I think with the police, it's to a point where the public are more aware of how the police are. They depending on who the officer is, they like to follow their own rules, allegedly, do what they want. Um, but I think unless you're actually a person who relies on the NHS, you don't really realize how allegedly the NHS staff can abuse their power as well. Um, this comes to when you make complaints, then all of a sudden there's alleged retaliation for making the complaint. So all of a sudden the service gets more poor, everything gets slower. Now, when that happens in something like, um, I don't know, like a normal store, it's not too bad because it's not your life on the line. Does that make sense? So, but when it's actually NHS doing it, when your life's on the line or you've got a health condition and you're making the NHS system aware that your health is declining and they seem to be either deliberately delaying treating you. I mean, I would say that's inhumane, wouldn't you?
Yes, or not providing the support that you believe you need,
Say that again.
or even support.
Yeah. Yeah, and also as well is what I want people to know as well is that when it comes to support, it's not just the NHS that's supposed to help you if you've got issues. Um, if you're a vulnerable person as well, if I was in your position, I would contact your local council because adult services, in my opinion, is supposed to help you as well if you're trying to navigate through the system and you're unable to do so. Um, in my opinion, they have a duty of care to help you. What do you think? Do you think?
They do, but well, they always said that they got limits to what they have. I do believe they you know um their council they do have connections with other charities and foundations to support you as well.
Yeah. So this is what the reason why the podcast is called Surviving the UK Government Podcast is because there's a lot of local authorities that they're supposed to support you if you need help with, the hospital or the police. And what we're trying to show is if you watch all the episodes, is that once you start having an issue with your local authority, e.g. the council, all of a sudden you start to receive this bad luck where you can't get any great service from the police or from the NHS for some reason. And I've noticed as I look on TikTok and I see all the whistleblowers and all the advocates, all of them seem to either end up getting arrested or in jail or their health declines. And I just find that really weird. Like, why can't you be an advocate without facing some kind of retaliation of denied service? So people were like, anyone that's new, like, oh, what are you talking about? You can do, but what are you talking about? So let me just get to the real nitty and gritty of it. Um, Naringa was at what hospital was you at?
St. Helens and Bristol
Yeah,
hospitals.
yeah. So the issues that she had there was that what was it? What was like the issues that you had there?
Well, at the beginning, it was fine
Mhm.
until later on. I've been asking them to help me because I've been having issues with housing, and I'm being mistreated by local authorities, and all of a sudden, my consultant changed, and my specialist nurse was not available when I needed needed her as well.
Mhm.
So everything seems to start going like, closing doors, no one wants to help me. Um, yeah, that's when it started when I asked my consultant, the new consultant for the report, to support me, the support letter. And she did like very messy, misleading letter,
Allegedly.
allegedly.
But
And
but but
she
but what?
always shared stuff as well that was not supposed to be shared with other authorities.
So what kind of misinformation was in the that you would say was misinformation in the letter? Can you remember or not? If you can't remember, it's no problem.
Um, let me remember. I think it's not a misinformation. I think she didn't put everything that was going on with me. That was
Yeah.
more like missing, not misleading. Sorry, it was more like missing
Oh yeah,
information.
yeah. That's a thing that they like to do. So one of the things as well that you need to look out for is when you go to your hospital or your GP and you tell them what's wrong with you, it's best that if I was in your position, that you would write up afterwards what exactly you said and send it to your GP, because sometimes these GPs, they seem to have forgetful memory,
Or hospitals.
or hospitals, which is even more concerning. They seem to have forget, especially when if the reason for your injuries is caused by the council, that's when all of a sudden it's very hard to get medical notes from injuries from the police or from the council. It can be very difficult. So if I was you, I would go into the place, make sure that you send a follow-up email detailing what you said to your doctor so that there's no confusion. Because there's a lot of confusion, isn't there, Naringa? When you report, what's wrong with you. It's like when you had your issues with the hospital, and then because you had your issues with the hospital, because you've got lupus, all of a sudden they decided to put that you in remission when you wasn't.
Yeah, even that I actually found out months later from my GP when I went to complain about inflammation in my lungs. And the GP was telling me, how come you have an inflammation in your lungs if the latest appointment said from the from consultant from hospital said that you're in remission.
Mm,
So she had to send me back to the hospital, but they never wanted to talk about it, like face to face, like, ever again, like it never happened.
yeah,
Like they
yeah.
pretend like they put it down in my NHS system because I challenged it. But they never wanted to talk about it. They never told me in my face like, hey, you're in remission and your blood is also great and everything's fine.
Yeah, but this was after you told them that you had issues with your joints and stuff like that.
Of course, yeah.
So how do you have issues with your joints but you're in remission?
I know anything of it, yeah, like I don't know, so like the thing I never knew, and it was at the time when I was having issues with housing association.
And it's also the time where you was near your PIP thing as well.
No, not yet.
Okay.
It was just at the beginning when I was having issues when allegedly neighbors was out the home,
Yeah.
and I started having like really bad lung inflammation. And when I went to GP and they told me, oh, you have inflammation, that's what the consultant said.
Yeah. So let's move to where you was refused medication for nearly over 9 months when you've got lupus,
Well, because they were mistreating me in the St. Helens Hospital,
allegedly.
allegedly. I had to move to HU Hospital in Liverpool, and also it was closer to me. Because
Hmm.
at the time I wasn't living in St. Helens. So, yeah, it took me, I found myself, it was like in March when I
Hmm.
got moved. They didn't give me an appointment till July. That's when the first appointment happened. At the time, one of my medications was stopped because I had health issues. I had health issues, so they
But
had to stop it.
yeah, and let's not just breeze through that. So you went to them in March. Was it March you said? Roughly.
No. March is when I got changed because basically that's when they stopped my medication.
Hmm.
And my previous hospital, St. Helens Hospital, like they didn't give me any updates on what they were doing. They were just waiting. I don't know what is going to happen. So because they waited so long, I changed the hospital.
Uh-huh. Okay. So, and while that was going on, that's when you started having issues with the police as well, right? That's when they were coming to the house all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were stressing you out, remember?
It was in April when they started doing it.
Yeah.
When the first time police came.
Yeah, where police were continuously coming to your house on some anonymous tip when you made them aware that the person is doing this on purpose to um waste your basically whoever the anonymous tip, even if it is I don't even believe it is anonymous tip. I think it's just the police like loving an excuse to come to the house. But let's just say for they are telling the truth, which is rare in my opinion. Um, Instead of them investigate the person that's making fake calls because you was able to provide evidence that there wasn't any disturbances at the time. It got to the point where you was providing at least 5 videos to the police of different days that there was no disturbance, and the police still can't work out who is making these, or not even if they can't work out, they're not taking enough action, in my opinion, to stop these harassment calls going.
Yeah, but the time that you're talking about is after September. The time I'm talking about is the March. And between April and up to the time that you're talking about, I've been receiving a lot of harassment allegedly from the neighbors.
Yeah.
And that's when I was going to the council to make complaints about it.
Yeah.
And how it's affected my health. But no one seemed to care. But at the time, I was still waiting for my first appointment, which happened on 1st of July.
Yeah.
And that's after after that appointment, that's when the police started. But you're talking like it started happening from April, but it's not it started fully happening.
Yeah, but some of it happened then because that's what was causing you stress, and that's where they also stopped your medication. Like you was under stress at the time. Yeah, and it was because of the harassment from the neighbors and some of the calls. It wasn't as heavy, but it was starting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the April one was the
Yeah.
first call.
So um when it comes to the hospital, you made a when did you first make a complaint that they s- when did you first made a complaint after they stopped your medication? Can you remember?
When they stopped my
So they
medication.
stopped your medication and they didn't offer you the alternative medication.
No, what happened is that when I went to the appointment, they said they're gonna check my blood, blah blah blah, all those tests. And they're gonna get back to me and tell me like, what's going on. So obviously I sent them the whole email what happened in during appointment. And just they just been quiet since July. Like the first complaint when I made when my car was really deteriorated was at the beginning of November. Like, when the police was like coming every single day.
Yeah.
That's when I made like official complaint, like, listen,
Yeah, but
it's been
even
2 months, like, where
yeah, but I think you was also asking them before the official complaint, like what's going on? Why haven't I received any?
yeah, but it wasn't like official.
No, it wasn't. But you was asking them like because you shouldn't have to make an official complaint to get medication. They know you on lupus and they know that you need it.
And I went to GP office to complain about my health, and they just kept trying me painkillers and said, and they like, yeah, it's better before the appointment.
Right, which then took 9 months.
It took 9 months. Yeah.
Right. Well, longer than 9 months, or was it 9 months exactly?
It was 9 months.
9 months. So let's break that down because like it just when people listen to that, it just sounds like oh that's not like it's normal. It's not normal. So someone's been refused medication who's a vulnerable person, has systemic lupus, looking after an autistic child. They've been refused medication, alternative medication, for 9 months. She's contacted she's had to go to the GP, consistently write emails, updating the GP on their health condition. We're going to show you the pictures of the flare ups that happened because of the hospital deciding to not give her, not only not give her alternative medication, they didn't even respond to her either. So, also, as well, on top of that, is she also contacted her local council, which is Liverpool Council, for help, and they decided to close the case,
It did.
right? Because apparently they need to do a care assessment first. But what I know is when there's certain situations, and it's kind of common sense, right? If someone's going through something so serious like that, it would make sense that you try and help sort out the situation before they do a care assessment. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Because otherwise, like, how are they supposed to do the care assessment while they're not stable enough to do it?
Yes.
Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the fact that the council did that, they're also, in my opinion, responsible for the harm that's caused by you as well, because they didn't do their due diligence by making sure that you're not receiving this, because that's if you make a complaint, the problem is you didn't make a complaint to the hospital, so that you can't say that it's victimization, because you didn't have an issue with the hospital yet.
Yes.
You made a yeah. So what I think happened was, because you made a complaint about the hospital, the other hospital, that this new hospital, this is my opinion, I'm not saying it's facts, but the new hospital then was able to retaliate for the other hospital. And then there's no way that you can be like, oh, you see, you was treating me worse because it's a different hospital. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they leave notes about each patient.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they do leave notes about each patient, or how difficult they are, or things like that.
Yeah.
How they believe.
Yeah. So when it comes to me now, when it comes with the NHS, it's funny. Both of us who have got issues with the council now can't seem to get any service from the NHS anymore, like, or any good service. Oh yeah, before we go to me, let's talk about the dentist, Shield Road Dental, on how you had to make complaints to them as well about how they're not making reasonable adjustments. So we're seeing the pattern here of you having to make complaints to every different type of service that's under the NHS about failing to do reasonable adjustments. So when people, again, when we say stuff like, I'm pretty sure there's notes on people, it's very weird that you're having to make the same type of complaint to different types of NHS services.
Yeah, it's supposed to be
Yeah.
separate, separate business,
But they keep making the same mistakes.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? Because you made a complaint to the Shiro Dental practice about them not making reasonable adjustments, because they kept giving you appointments that wasn't in your reasonable adjustments, right?
Yeah.
And their response, and also as well, was obviously, not only did they give you the wrong times as well, it was very slow in moving when it came to actually giving you treatment.
Yeah, they obviously, people would say like, it's the way
Under amount of pressure,
yeah,
too many immigrants. That's why, that's why, you can't blame them, the countries that you can blame them, because at the end of the day, it's them that's receiving the funding from the government to save people's lives, right? So when you're challenging the system, you shouldn't be punished by not receiving medical care or delayed medical care because you're challenging the system for doing you wrong, allegedly. That's not what should be happening. And I see it time and time again on Instagram and TikTok, where people are complaining about, they make complaints to the NHS about either being treated wrongly or whatever it is, and then their treatment seems to get worse by the system. It's not an individual staff, it's the system in general. That's what people get confused with. Like, oh, it's just that doctor. He was confused. He's foreign. Or it's the system.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? It's the system. So, and Shield Road, after you made a complaint, funny enough, when you finally got treated for your teeth, allegedly they didn't do it properly, and you ended up losing your teeth.
One
of your tooth. Yeah.
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 Yeah. They put crown on it without even checking if the root is fine, if it's strong enough, because also your teeth need to be healthy enough for the crowns, because also you put extra stuff over your teeth. So if it's not strong enough, it's not gonna hold.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they have it all the later on. I found out that you're supposed to do like X-rays and things like that. It's never done X-ray.
Right.
And it was just a chipped tooth, which I said I prefer just aesthetic, and the dentist convinced me like, no, you need a crown, like it stays longer. You will not need to come back to us. You know, it's so much better. So the next time when they put that crown, after a month, the whole tooth fell out with that same crown.
Yeah. So in reality, I feel like I'm not, I'm just saying my opinion. I'm not saying that this is true. In my opinion, I feel like I just think it's very weird that after you made a complaint, they made a mistake so serious that you ended up losing your front tooth.
Yeah.
Because that's what, and then on top of it, there's still part of the tooth in your mouth, and no one has contacted you to remove the rest of the tooth,
Yeah.
even though and it's been 3 months. And now this is what I want to let people know as well is there's a thing called the ICB, right? This is there's a local ICB that's supposed to make sure that you're receiving NHS service without discrimination, without human right violations happening, stuff like that. And I don't know, maybe it's just a Liverpool one, but they like to very try and dismiss responsibility or act like they don't need to do anything. That's the that's the experience I've had from ICB, and you definitely need to contact them because they're supposed to. What likes to happen is the hospital or the GP, they like to refer you to the ombudsman because it's a longer wait as well. It's a very long wait, isn't it? The ombudsman.
It is.
Very long wait. So they like to refer you to the ombudsman. Oh, go to the ombudsman. Go to the ombudsman. Yeah, you can go. I'm not telling you not to go to the ombudsman, but you definitely should contact the ICB because is it ICB?
ICB,
Yeah.
Integrated Care Board.
Yeah, Integrated Care Board. There's one for every area that you're in. Flood their email with what's going on with you, and they're supposed to take some kind of action, but they're very dismissive. So make sure you make. I would make if I was in your position, I would make an official complaint as well. This is for the people listening. I'd make a complaint as well about the ICB failing to do their duties as well. So that if you have to take them, but so then in the end, if you still refuse treatment, you should be able to take the ICB, hopefully, and the practice um, to the ombudsman. I think the problem is with the ICB, how they can get out of it is that if you complain to the hospital, you can't complain to them.
Basically,
Yeah.
it's like one or the other.
Yeah, they don't want you getting too much money from the ombudsman, isn't it?
But then at the same time, if you make a complaint to NHS, trust, whichever one, they're still supposed to be overlooking the fact that some hospital or GPs or dentists or whatever, they ignore your complaint because obviously they got like rules of how complaints supposed to be handled.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you're not responding at all, it could be classed as physical breach. No,
I'm not sure.
I think it's called, yeah, or yeah, things like that. They're supposed to overlook it as well because they straight away said like, oh, you already made a complaint, like we're not looking at it, but they're supposed to because they recently care by responding to you. If it's like, you know, things like treatments.
Life saving.
Like,
But I would say the main thing to do, if I was to look, if I was to change things, I would, when the hospital's doing things wrong, go straight to the ICB instead of going through the hospital. Go to the ICB, hound them about it. Um, and then it still leaves you open to take legal action against the hospital because it's two different entities. Does that make sense? So you go after the ICB for not doing the hospital's role, and then you can still take legal action because if you complain to the hospital, the ICB have no responsibility anymore, really. Yeah, because you've already gone through the hospital. So they're like, listen, you've gone through the hospital, do your complaint process and go to the ombudsman. That's what they're gonna hit you with, because that's what they hit me with. But if you go to ICB straight away, say, excuse me, I haven't gone to the hospital, I'm going to you. They're doing human rights violations, they're discriminating against me, yeah. Then you go through that way. When they ignore you, you take the ask to a bondsman, or you can do that. Even leaves them open for legal action as well, because they have a duty to sort it out.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
It could be very, because it's like even court cases, it's very time sensitive. So obviously, if it takes 6 months to respond, you can be out of time.
What, ICB?
Yeah,
Yeah, but it shouldn't.
I just meant if it takes like you want to take hospital to the court.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's time sensitive. It should
Yeah.
have to do within a certain time frame. So obviously, ICB could be like, "Oh, I'm taking your case," but then try to prolong it.
Yeah, but
Because
God.
you need to in contact with the hospital to figure it out.
Yeah, but that's yeah, 100%. But what I'm saying is, as long as you contacted the ICB first, yeah, and they ignore it or whatever they use as an excuse, why they're taking their time and someone's on annual leave or whatever, you don't wait on them. You start the process with the hospital. You don't wait on what their finding is, because you already know that the hospital's not doing what they're supposed to do. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's where I didn't realize, like, okay, that's the new thing to do. When they, instead of complaining to the practices, go to the ICB and say, hey, this is what's going on. What are you going to do about it? Why are you not doing something about it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn off for me. Does that make sense?
It does.
So that's the new way to but now I'm gonna show the thing. Where is it?
It is do view and do a slash. Like, which one is it?
Yeah. So look, this is how her swollen, this is how big her finger was.
From,
Yeah, because they refused medication. How do you zoom in?
It just yeah, there you go.
Bloody hell. Okay.
Yeah, it's my this, I don't know how to say, is this
Yeah,
where you pointing at them? Yeah, this one.
yeah,
And I keep getting sores that it takes me like forever to heal as well because of my
yeah. How'd you get out of the
Hey,
to the next picture?
yeah, wait. Oh, oh my goodness. There you go. I think I just have to turn it off.
So these are the injuries.
Oh, yeah,
It's the same one.
no. That's my middle finger. You can see like it's just
Yeah, look how swollen that is.
it's very painful.
Yeah. So this is for me, this is not just a mistake. This was deliberate, because complaints were sent and also letter before claims was sent, and no action was taken properly.
Yeah,
Actually, an email sent by the hospital was, we understand your complaint, and that, what was it?
No, they said, oh, I understand you're in pain, but there's no waiting list kind of thing, and everyone needs to be checked out. Something like
Right,
that. Like
yeah.
I can't trust it. Even though because usually I'm supposed to have my checkups like when I'm not in pain, like every 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
But it did tell me to contact them if they think I'm flaring up earlier.
Yeah.
And I have been trying to contact them, so they did not only didn't check me on time within 6 months, they also delayed by extra few months to allegedly punish me
Yeah.
for making too many complaints.
Sounds like victimization, isn't it? So this is the flare-ups as well.
I get
Sores in the nose. Yeah. So this is serious when it comes to NHS. People think, there's still people out there that don't realize that the NHS is also, has a very dark side to it, allegedly, right? Of allowing people to suffer when you make complaints, allegedly, right? What hospital was this that treated you like this? Aintree Hospital in Liverpool, right?
And that, yeah, that's why I thumb was swollen.
Yeah, look at the swollen. Look at this.
Like a little ball.
Right. So I think we get the point. I'll do this and then that's it.
Yeah.
So again, you can see the open cuts as well. Yeah. And this is look at that. Yeah. And this is and while all this is going on, the Liverpool adult services is basically having the attitude of, well, you know, basically unless you do the care assessment, then they're not helping you. They didn't say that, but in reality, that's what it was because you wasn't able to do the assessment because of clearly all the injuries going on. Yeah, they just closed the case.
Because even when I spoke to them on the phone, I spoke to the woman on the phone, and she made it look like that was that kind of assessment until I realized, like, she was like, oh yeah, we need this assessment, and I was like, why do we need to do that? Because I already spoke to you on the phone, like, she knew how hard it was for me to even get on the phone for the first time.
Yeah, because of your anxiety.
Because of my anxiety, I made her aware. So the fact, like, she just sitting on, like, allegedly abusing it because of her, like, I'm not comfortable with speaking on the phone with strangers.
Yeah,
And she just carry on booking all these assessments.
yeah. So, you know, there's stuff on the news and they say stuff like, is there alleged racism in the NHS and stuff like that. And the point as well is that NHS need to do better when it comes to patients. Patients shouldn't be scared of making complaints. I've spoken to people who I've tried to get on on this podcast to do an interview, and it's because they depend on the NHS on like a regular thing, like you know, like sickle cell and stuff. They
Yeah.
won't do it because they're worried about their medication getting delayed or stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
not something you should have to worry about because it's your life on the line. Even with me, I went to a private dental place um, after allegedly being neglected for so long by the same dental practice, Shield Road. Asked for my medical records. All now, I haven't got my medical records I've asked for. All now. It's been like a year and something. All now. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna spend my own money and go private. And it was what was the dental practice? What was it?
Hampton Dental Practice.
Hampton Dental Practice in Liverpool. 5-star review, right? Yeah. So I've gone down there now and I clearly have an overbite, right? Clearly I've had damage done to my jaw. For some reason, the NHS system is trying to prevent me from telling me what has happened to my jaw. Like, even though I know I've got TMJ problems, I've got stage 4 periodontal gum disease. That doesn't happen overnight, by the way. Um, and the best advice I got from the Hampton, what was it? What was it called?
Hampton Dental Practice.
Hampton Dental Practice was that I need to do better by brushing my teeth. Yeah. So I also paid for an X-ray. Apparently, at Hampton Dental Practice, they don't X-ray your whole jaw. They just X-ray your tooth.
Yeah.
X-ray your teeth.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you don't do. I didn't know a dental practice doesn't. If you pay for it, doesn't provide you X-rays to your whole jaw. Does that sound normal to you?
No, it doesn't, especially that it was your first time ever coming to them.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're supposed to have like every angle, picture to see what exactly is going on. Like they're going on like they already know you.
Yeah. Yeah.
They going on like they already know you. So it was just very odd. Like why would you take all the specific to the picture?
And what was funny as well is the guy when he was telling me about my like the thing is when I went in there, I already did my research, yeah, but I just wanted to see whether this dental practice was trustworthy, right? And in my opinion, they're not because the fact that he didn't even tell me about the pockets in my mouth that need to be cleaned. Yeah. I had to tell him that there's pockets in my periodontal pockets in my mouth. I had to tell him. He only mentioned it when I told him. Yeah. When he's telling me about, oh, you grind in your mouth, he's telling me that I need to be careful grinding my mouth, but he's not providing any information on how to stop it.
Or
So,
like what's causing it. It
yeah,
doesn't come out. Just not every person is grinding their teeth. Like,
right. So, um, telling me that I just need to brush my teeth and floss more doesn't sort out my TMJ problems. It doesn't sort out.
it doesn't make you stop grinding your teeth.
This guy allegedly even told me that apparently if I brush my teeth, that allegedly it can um, get rid. I asked him a direct question of, and he told me that apparently that if I brush my teeth, I can get rid of my. Allegedly, he said that I can get rid of my stage 4 periodontal gum disease by brushing my teeth. I need people to really realize how that the fact that I'm paying for a private dentist and that they're providing me misinformation is dangerous and scary. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is the problem with the dentist service as well, is that people are getting mistreated in the NHS dental service. They then say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go and pay and expecting a better treatment in the private, and then you get the same or if not worse. So then what is the point of paying for private? You might as well just stick with the NHS and just um do your best to hound the ICB for as long as possible to get the treatment sorted.
Yeah, that's why when they mom that everyone is going to Turkey, to Saudi.
Yeah,
Because it's like,
because it seems like at the moment that it's rigged. It seems kind of rigged that you're supposed to be paying for private care and private care is still treating you bad. It's almost like they're aware of who you are if you're an advocate or a whistleblower. Does that make sense? It's almost like they're aware. So even though they're pretending like they don't know who you are, they're still providing you the same gaslighting information that you get from NHS. So at the end of the day, that £60 that you wasted at that dental practice, Hampton Dental Care,
yeah,
I could have just paid someone to write a letter before claim, put it towards that. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Because I look like, what's the point? Yeah.
yeah.
The guy looked me in my face and told me that, oh, we're not going to remove the gums um, from that tooth because, the gum is just going to grow back anyway.
Yeah, that one, yeah, it's like,
That's what he allegedly said.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I said to him, so what? Oh, just do your best to clean it. I said, but the tooth is covering most of the gum. So how am I supposed to clean it? Oh, well, yeah, um, yeah, just, if anything, then, we'll just have to pull it out. Oh, yeah, I know, because dentists are very keen to pull out teeth instead of actually treating the problem, in my opinion. They're very keen to pull out the teeth instead of actually treating the problem. So you don't have that kind of problem. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. They very quick, they did that
Very
on
quick.
small children as well. When we know,
Allegedly. Yeah.
allegedly,
Yeah.
I've heard some parents complaining that when they bring their children to the dentist, and instead of trying to fix it, the first thing they've been told allegedly to pull the kids' teeth out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they do, and it's quite bad, like what I've heard.
Even so, you got that with the you got that problem I got with the dentist, and then on top of that, on top of it, I've got issues with my nose, right? My is it Alder Hospital again with my nose?
No,
No,
it's Aintree.
Aintree. Yeah, sorry, Aintree Hospital. So you've got problems with Aintree Hospital. I've got problems with Aintree Hospital where I'm not receiving correct treatment for my nose. Yeah. I've got a deviated nose. Ask for reasonable adjustments. They didn't do reasonable adjustments, and they failed to make reasonable adjustments for nearly 3 years.
Actually, we've been diagnosed, like, nobody admitted it was 2021.
No, but not the sleep apnea. I'm just talking about the fact of when I was supposed to have the surgery.
It was 2022 when you were supposed to have the surgery.
Yeah, but we're now in 2026.
Yeah, 2022 when that apparently they sent you a letter with your surgery,
Which
but
they never
did.
which I never got. Let's say
Yeah.
that. I never got the letter. They know how to communicate with me, which is by email. And yeah, and this is what I'm saying, that after that now, I've asked the GP. Even me, I've got sleep apnea. I don't receive any masks from my sleep clinic for some reason. I had to buy my own CPAP because when I was getting diagnosed with sleep apnea, I was allegedly told that, oh, the reason why you keep waking up is because it's not because you're not breathing, it's maybe because you watch TV at night.
Yeah,
That's what they allegedly said.
Yeah.
Do you know how dangerous that is to be provided information like that? That's 100% not correct. Then I had to chase them for like 4 months, and then, oh yeah, you have been diagnosed with sleep apnea.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, what? After I paid for my machine, which was £600, now you want to tell me that I've got sleep apnea, and now you're offering me a machine after I bought it to save my own life. You know how dangerous sleep apnea is. If it goes untreated for too long, yeah, it can mess up your memory.
Yes.
It can affect the brain.
That part. Yeah.
And then obviously that's great because then you're more dependent on the system, so then they can treat you worse, allegedly. People need to wake up, man. I've seen people, really think that, oh, let's clap outside for NHS. No, we need to make NHS know that the way that they're treating ill patients is not okay. There's people being given wrong antidepressants. What? No, not antidepressants. What was it? The antibiotics and dying.
Yeah.
Little statement out. Oh, we're working on training our staff to not make this mistake again. Life goes on.
Or the other person who had allergic reaction when they knew he was allergic to specific type of antibiotics, and the family tried to make them aware, and they described to him anyway, and he had a massive allergic reaction, very surviving.
Yeah, and that was after he already made a complaint, or he's already taken legal action about an incident before.
Yes.
And when he woke up, this time, he saw the same nurse that mistreated him in the first case. That's still pending.
Yes, that's so important.
So stuff like that is not about financial problems with the NHS. It's, in my opinion, clear corruption in the system. That's my opinion. That's what I think. Right?
Yeah.
And it's not okay for that to be happening to people. Doesn't matter whether you're black or white, it's not okay for it to be happening to you. This is people's health that you're dealing with, and you're using this as a power trip of fall in line or all your services. And the funny thing about that as well is the person that they've done that to, he's like a lupus campaigner. He's a lupus advocate. There you go. Yeah. Another advocate. Yeah, because all the advocates that I see that are active online, that actually are doing things, and they either start having issues with the police. That every advocate that I know that's actually putting in work has at least been arrested once on some stupid charge, allegedly. Every advocate. Why is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you're an advocate with kids, all of a sudden social services are interested in your life.
Yeah, it's like a threat.
Yeah.
So they need to slow it down.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit too much for them, because obviously they need to use the resources as well.
Yeah. And this is why the podcast is called Survive the UK Government, because you need to understand that the system is supposed to work together. Well, let's just say officially, the system is supposed to work together to help you. That's what you see on the news. Oh, we're going to have all this NHS and police and thing work together to combat antisocial, to combat child safety, to combat this, to combat that. But what you start to realize is when you actually start to speak to advocates and whistleblowers, that same system that's supposed to keep you safe, the advocates and the people that are not afraid to make complaints and go to the highest stage, they seem to be getting treated worse by the system. And sometimes it's coordinated, because what we're going through as advocates is definitely coordinated, in my opinion, because I don't know how you can have that much bad luck. I don't know how I can have so much bad luck with the NHS, the police, child council, and child services. All, yeah. And it's to the point where you're contacting your local councillors and they don't care either.
Yes.
Yeah. So the last thing we're gonna wrap up on. Yeah, Billy.
Murray.
Yeah,
Murray. Not, I keep calling him Mo for some reason.
Yeah.
I think it's Murray.
Yeah.
Billy Murray.
Yeah. Yeah. So the last thing we're gonna end on is yes, okay. The last thing we're gonna end on for this episode about the NHS is how they treated my autistic child, right? So my autistic child has been in unsuitable accommodation for nearly 3 years, or over 3 years.
It's been 4 years now.
Yeah, but yeah, been 4 years. Just take that in. I'm going to say it slower so you understand what I'm saying to you. My autistic child has been placed in unsuitable accommodation for over 4 years, and it's still ongoing. We'll leave that there. So this time, he was coughing. This is after we let the council know about the fact that he's in a property with damp in it. It's not the first time he's been in a property with damp in it. And he's coughing. Day before my birthday, it got to the point where we realized that he has a hernia in his left testicle, massive, right? Or big, let's just say that, right? I wish I could put the picture up, but I can't. So you think of like literally a massive tennis ball has been pushed into like my son's ball sack, right? Yeah. Very, very private, very. I remember my son is autistic, so he's
sensory issues.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Sensory issues, right? This is not stuff I should be having to explain to a hospital, right? Okay. So he goes after the GP, he goes to have an appointment. Now, this is my opinion, right? The fact that his hernia was serious, yeah, I think that they should have done surgery on him straight away, because it's very dangerous for him to be walking around with a hernia, who we've actually got on the system that he doesn't understand danger, right?
And he continued coughing.
Right.
Which could make it worse.
Which could make it worse, yeah.
So try to stop him coughing, things.
Yeah, but
it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, and also he's still in the house with the damp in it.
Yeah.
So if that's what caused him to cough, which I think it did, I'm pretty sure the medical notes are going to try and come up with some next excuse why he was coughing out of nowhere. But I
do believe it, because even with me, even when I don't have a cold, I do start having like 2 weeks of non-stop coughing.
Yeah.
I can't understand why, because I don't have a cold.
Right.
I just cough non-stop.
Yeah, you're just surrounded by damp and mold. Yeah. So so when he now was in the hospital, they didn't give him same-day surgery, even though we made him know the symptoms of.
By the way, the son of the A&E, because we had the same appointment, the same day appointment with the GP after you told them.
Yeah.
They sent us urgently to A&E
to
be checked, and the GP told me that it's very possible that they're going to do it the same day surgery, because it's going to be bad.
Okay, allegedly. That's
allegedly.
Yeah. But what's funny is that I kind of knew they weren't going to do it anyway. Yeah. But so, because obviously I know the past problems that we had with Liverpool Council as well. So, you know, when you've got issues with your local council, all of a sudden, you know, you don't get the support sometimes that you're supposed to be getting from all other public bodies. It's almost like a gang kind of thing. Like all of a sudden, everyone doesn't know how to do their job anymore.
Yes.
Like it's just some weird coincidence. So anyway, so he was refused the same day surgery. I'm not gonna go into the reasons why, because for me it's just absolute BS. But what they decided to do was they decided to touch his private area without consent and push the hernia back in without the parent's consent, without the child's consent, and without pain relief. Now, men, you know how sensitive your ball sack is. You know as a man how sensitive. For women, the only way to explain it to you lot is someone punching your breast multiple times, right? So this is an autistic child who's um, laying on the table, supposed to be so he's supposed to trust the Alder Hay hospital staff because they're rated so highly in the world, yeah, that he's in a safe space. Clearly he wasn't, because the nurse, doctor, consultant, whoever she was, right, decided it was okay to not only overtalk the mother when she's trying to tell her the symptoms of the child and just completely dismiss it. That's my opinion from listening to the audio, right? She also, in my opinion, what I think she did, this is my opinion, what I think she done is that she deliberately, she knows that Naringa's not from the UK. She deliberately just tried to ask her questions to keep her distracted as she was pushing in my autistic son's hernia back in place that's in his testicle without any pain relief. What is the world coming to where you can harm children and there's no guilt? I don't understand that. How do you harm children and there's no guilt? Yeah. So I don't know if people know this as well, is allegedly that could also be a criminal offense, what she done. But what's funny is what she done that allegedly is a criminal offense. This happened after I was threatening legal action with the police. Isn't it funny how the world just spins? So is that indirect or is that just a mistake? Who knows? It's funny how the world goes round, isn't it? Yeah. So
It was after the trespass.
yeah, after the police trespassed into the property, allegedly trespassed into the property, right? And then we threatened with legal action. All of a sudden, my son faces I can't remember what it is. Is it battery? Yeah. So the nurse allegedly committed battery against an autistic child. And yeah, nah, all we've got is we're still waiting on. Do you know what? To be honest with you, what I want to do now is to end on the podcast. I'm actually going to play the audio of. You can hear my son in the background letting the. She actually says to him as well, "Does it hurt?" And he says, "Ow, yes." And she continues to proceed. Right? This is not okay. Right? So I'm gonna play it now. Where's the? Let me play the audio for you.
Okay.
Yeah, you can leave that. You don't have that. You can leave that. You can leave that.
So many doctors, even from GP to the hospital. So many people. Yeah.
The hernia, she literally spent most of the day out. This is at like 10 to 8. It's funny the times that this happen as well, because from 10 to 8 onwards, that's when ignored crimes happen as well towards you and your son. So it's funny how all of this is, it all just syncs together. It's a coincidence world, isn't it?
Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Danny. Okay. Is it first time you need to sit today? Yes.
Yeah. Even putting on the whole nice voice while you're doing what you're doing. Imagine that. Imagine what kind of mental state you're in where you can do that and say, yeah. Sick. That's the first owl. Yeah. Okay.
So many doctors, even from GP to the.
Now, the woman talking is his mother, so people might think, oh, but why, if he's saying, oh, why didn't the mother do anything? Is because she didn't realize that they were pushing the hernia back in. Did you? You just thought that they were just checking on him, innit?
Yeah, because that's what they were doing at GP, where someone was checking like how bad the hernia is.
Yeah.
So I thought that was exactly what they were doing, with no warning, nothing.
Yeah.
Hospital. So many people check. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention that. Danny. Okay. Is it first time you need to sit today? Yes. He had a little one, but it was more like an answer, but he was gonna hold his hand with his hand. He has been having septic coughs, and that's
So at what point there, as a doctor, as a consultant, do you not realize you're causing harm to an autistic child? No pain relief. We're pushing in hernias to an autistic child with no pain relief.
And I made him multiple times aware that he's autistic.
And the joke thing is, yeah, when it comes to complaints or doing legal action, the first thing they're going to do is they're not even going to act, not like it's going to be instead of you just admit, you know what, we was wrong, yeah, it's not going to happen.
No.
Because that's the problem with these local authorities, whether it's the hospital, police, or council, yeah, they have this gaslighting technique where they try to make it out that it's your fault why this is happening, or that it's not as bad as it seems. So not only did you discriminate against Micaiah, allegedly, because you didn't make reasonable adjustments for him, he's now faced battery, allegedly, from hospital staff. So at the age that he's at now, which is 8, yeah, he's faced alleged discrimination, repeated discrimination from the Merseyside police, allegedly. He's faced repeated discrimination, allegedly, from Liverpool City Council, and now he's faced repeatedly discrimination from NHS, allegedly, right? So how do you think? He hasn't even reached 15 yet, and you're already trying to mess up his childhood.
Or make him like fear of even ever contacting them.
Right. Right. What would make you want to go back in the hospital after that?
Because for some time he was saying that he doesn't want to go back there, to the point where he was hiding if he needed it to cough.
Yeah, exactly.
Assuring us that he doesn't need to come back to the hospital.
Yeah.
Just because he has a small cough.
Yeah. But when I let him know that the hospital owe you money for what he did, he felt better. Do you understand? Because they in my opinion, they do owe him money for what they've done. Yeah. That's not a sorry, we'll look it over with our manager kind of thing.
No, it's not.
because it's a criminal offence. Like if it's deemed as battery, which I think it is, yeah, it is a criminal offence. But will Merseyside police do anything about it? Well, let's look at their track record. How many crimes have we reported to Merseyside police about that's happened to Micaiah? Plus, how many's actually been done? Probably 3 compared to 12.
Sorry, what
They
do you
did.
mean?
They. No, I'm saying maybe 3 that they've solved out of 12 that we've reported, maybe allegedly.
I think it was only one when the guy
Kick the door in.
kicked the door and then he got like suspended sentence for 12 months.
Yeah, and then we wasn't allowed, and then they didn't even ask us for witness statements. Remember that one? We didn't.
That's what you got.
No.
You mean impact statement?
Yeah, impact
Yeah,
statement.
witness statement.
Yeah,
Impact
sorry.
statement.
Yeah, impact statement.
Yeah, it's like for the court.
Yeah,
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
get that, did we?
No.
Yeah. So that helped with the sentence,
So
didn't
it's
it?
pretty much the only one, and yeah, that was Makaya. That was like.
But let's just stop because that sounds crazy when you say it. We were denied providing impact statements about a crime that happened to our son. Let's just say that slowly. Does that not sound crazy?
But it was all of us.
No, but I know, but we're adults. Like I'm talking just from Micaiah's thing.
Yeah.
Micaiah was in the room when it happened.
He was.
Right. Okay. Because we're not gonna ignore. We'll upload it on YouTube the other day where he allegedly got assaulted while in temporary accommodation, and the police telling us that they're not taking any further action.
Yeah.
But then they want to come down to your house constantly to check that you're not in any domestic violence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and obviously it's funny that while all that's happening, they like to try and pretend to care. Does that make sense? But anyway, let's just finish.
Started throwing up. Started throwing up. Every time he gets up to fucking the parts and he starts throwing up. He was putting. Okay, it's just because it's sensitive. I'm not going to. It's sensitive. It's okay. It's so good. Okay. You start It's like getting so good. I know. Not trying to stress him out because I'm stressed out, so. So good. You gotta have some chocolate and you can play on the phone. So you can have it. Oh, there you go. He said if you can It's that because he started like really chested coughs. So every time he has like a cough or a type of starts throwing up, it is not food because I'm trying to give him plain food like rice, chicken. Okay, stay still please. So every time he starts coughing, he starts throwing up. And so if he doesn't even have anything, he just throws up anything. After breakfast, yeah, it was like an hour after breakfast.
It's not fixed completely, that's just temporary.
I'm going to give it. I just love how sensitive. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, it's got an idea. Okay.
Yes.
Very common. See the boys.
I'm so sorry, baby. I'm going to get some chocolate, okay?
So essentially, it's how something to do that normally when they come down in that and they come together with a line usually that closes when you're engaging.
So you can hear the whimpering from Micaiah recovering after being allegedly battered by the. No, it's not battered. It's battered. Basically. Yeah, but what do you say? You say like, oh, I got assaulted. What would you say about
Yeah, it's
battery?
literally assault.
Yeah, I know, but
It's a type of assault, battery.
yeah. So yeah, you heard it for yourself. I don't need to, you know, um, make it worse than what it is. And you know what's sick about this year is how calm the woman was doing it, trying to pretend to like it's normal what they're doing when it's not. And that's how these local authorities, when they allegedly like to break the law or cause you harm, they talk to you like, oh, it's fine what we're doing to you, when it's not. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like when you told the police when they came yesterday, there's no disturbance here. I've shown you evidence on a body cam, there's no disturbance. Go away. And they still decide to stand outside, calling more police to come to antagonize you and make your anxiety worse. It's like stuff like that.
No, the fact that they're spending so much money on that, all this brutality on the staff.
Yeah, you got enough stuff when it comes to retaliating, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
There was more and more officers coming.
And that's what I notice when it comes to most government departments that you make complaints about. They're so understaffed, lack of resources, but then when it comes to retaliation, they go all the time in the world. All the time in the world. Just like the bad luck we're now going to face from doing this episode. But as they know, I don't give a fuck, to be honest with you. So it is what it is. And is it going to stop me doing episodes? No, it won't. Is it going to stop me from exposing the corruption, alleged corruption with social services, NHS, the police, and the council, local councillors, and certain MPs? Is it going to stop me talking about it? No. So whoever's listening, know that it's not going to stop me doing it. In fact, it just makes me more determined to talk about the bullshit that you lot are doing. Hope you lot enjoyed the podcast episode. I'm gonna go and get ready for any antisocial behavior or police failing their duties as usual. If you need help with issues with your local council, complaints with the NHS services, housing issues, issues with police ignoring crimes, um, antisocial behavior, um, issues with travel lodge. You see how they treat people locally, um, and issues with care homes. Send an email in. It will tell you what to do once you send the email in. Um, just a disclaimer: I'm not your therapist, so if you actually want to take action, contact me. If you just want to tell me what happened to you and you don't want to take any action because you're scared of the repercussions, that's fine. But I'm not the person for you. I'm on seeking justice. The fear of retaliation is gone. So just so we're clear. Yes, just stay locked to all the other episodes, man. There's more coming. There's loads more coming. It won't stop coming. And just look out for all the. If you see the videos on TikTok, because there's going to be a lot of them, or on YouTube, just repost, man. Share the awareness because even though it's not happening to you now, it's most likely going to happen to someone you know or someone close to you. Anything else you want to say, Naringa?
No, I think you covered everything.
Okay.